IEC standards and the NEC, or National Electrical Code, are both sets of standards governing electrical systems, but they are developed and used in different regions. The IEC, or International Electrotechnical Commission, standards are widely used internationally, while the NEC is the primary standard in the United States. While a direct one-to-one cross-reference isn't always possible due to differences in scope and philosophy, there are some general correspondences that can be helpful. It is important to remember that this cross-reference is not exhaustive and should not be used as a substitute for consulting the actual standards and qualified professionals. Also, when applicable, the IEC standard may provide more detailed requirements than the NEC. For electrical systems, IEC 60364.441 generally aligned with NEC Article 215, which covers feeders. IEC 60364.552 corresponds to NEC Article 400, addressing flexible cords and cables. IEC 60364.701 has similarities to NEC Article 230, which deals with services. When looking at wiring devices, IEC 60947.3 relates to NEC Article 380 covering switches. IEC 60947.41 is comparable to NEC Article 404, which addresses snap switches, dimmers, and control switches. IEC 60669.1 has links to NEC Article 310, conductors for general wiring. Regarding overcurrent protection, IEC 60898 corresponds to NEC Article 240 covering overcurrent protection in general. IEC 60947.2 aligns with NEC Article 508 addressing industrial control panels. IEC 60269.1 relates to NEC Article 250 focusing on grounding and bonding. For switchgear and control gear, IEC 60947.61 has connections to NEC Article 489 dealing with ground fault protection. IEC 61439 may relate to NEC Article 700, which covers emergency systems. IEC 60439 has links to NEC Article 709 addressing industrial control panels. When it comes to motors, IEC 60034.1 is comparable to NEC Article 430, which covers motors, motor circuits, and controllers. IEC 60079 may relate to NEC Article 530, addressing hazardous locations. IEC 60034.2 has links to NEC Article 318 addressing cable trays. Considering transformers, IEC 60076 is comparable to NEC Article 450, which covers transformers in general. IEC 60076.1 aligns with NEC Article 450. IEC 60076.5 also relates to NEC Article 450. Regarding power supplies, IEC 61439 may relate to NEC Article 645, which covers information technology equipment. IEC 62040 is links to NEC Article 647, addressing sensitive electronic equipment. IEC 62040.1 also relates to NEC Article 647. It's crucial to understand the scope and specific requirements of each standard. The NEC is primarily concerned with safety and focuses on protecting people and property from electrical hazards. It provides detailed requirements for installations in buildings and structures. IEC standards, on the other hand, often address performance, functionality, and interoperability in addition to safety. They may provide more detailed technical specifications for equipment and systems. Here's a more detailed explanation of how these standards relate to specific electrical components and systems. Firstly, conductors and cables. The NEC specifies conductor types, sizes, and ampacities based on insulation, temperature rating, and application. It provides tables, such as Table 310.16, to determine the allowable ampacities of insulated conductors. IEC standards also address conductor characteristics, but the specific requirements may differ. For example, IEC 60228 specifies conductor sizes and resistance, while IEC 60502 addresses power cables with extruded insulation. Secondly, overcurrent protection. The NEC requires overcurrent protective devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, to protect conductors and equipment from overloads and short circuits. Article 240 of the NEC provides detailed requirements for overcurrent protection. IEC 60898 specifies circuit breakers for overcurrent protection in household and similar installations, while IEC 60269 addresses low-voltage fuses. Thirdly, grounding and bonding. The NEC emphasizes the importance of grounding and bonding to create a low-impedance path for fault current and to minimize the risk of electric shock. Article 250 of the NEC provides comprehensive requirements for grounding and bonding systems. IEC 60364.554 addresses earthing arrangements, protective conductors, and protective bonding conductors. Fourthly, wiring methods. The NEC specifies acceptable wiring methods for different applications, including conduit, cable trays, and direct burial cables. Chapter 3 of the NEC covers wiring methods and materials. IEC 61386 addresses conduit systems for electrical installations, while IEC 61537 covers cable tray systems. Fifthly, motors and motor control. The NEC provides specific requirements for the installation and protection of motors, motor circuits, and motor controllers. Article 430 of the NEC covers motors and motor control. IEC 60034 addresses rotating electrical machines, including motors, while IEC 60947.41 specifies contactors and motor starters. Sixthly, hazardous locations. The NEC has specific requirements for electrical equipment and wiring in hazardous locations where flammable gases, vapors, or dust may be present. Articles 500 through 516 of the NEC cover hazardous locations. IEC 60079 addresses electrical apparatus for explosive gas atmospheres, while IEC 61241 covers electrical apparatus for use in the presence of combustible dust. Seventhly, emergency systems. The NEC requires emergency systems to provide power to essential loads during a power outage. Article 700 of the NEC covers emergency systems. IEC 60364.556 addresses safety services including emergency lighting. Eighthly, healthcare facilities. The NEC has special requirements for electrical systems in healthcare facilities to ensure patient safety. Article 517 of the NEC covers healthcare facilities. IEC 60364.710 addresses medical locations. Ninthly, renewable energy systems. The NEC includes requirements for the installation of renewable energy systems such as solar photovoltaic and wind power systems. Article 690 of the NEC covers solar photovoltaic systems, while Article 694 addresses small wind electric systems. IEC 62548 addresses photovoltaic arrays design requirements, while IEC 61400 addresses wind turbine generator systems. Tenthly, industrial control panels. The NEC addresses the installation and wiring of industrial control panels. Article 409 of the NEC covers industrial control panels. IEC 61439 specifies switchgear and control gear assemblies. In addition to these specific areas, there are some general differences between the NEC and IEC standards. The NEC is updated every 3 years, while IEC standards are updated on a different schedule. The NEC is enforced by local authorities, while IEC standards are typically adopted by national standards bodies. The NEC is more prescriptive, while IEC standards are more performance-based. It is important to be aware of these differences when working with both NEC and IEC standards. Ultimately, the best approach is to consult the specific standards and work with qualified professionals who are familiar with both the NEC and IEC requirements. This ensures that electrical systems are designed, installed, and operated safely and in compliance with all applicable regulations. When dealing with electrical installations, understanding the nuances between IEC standards and NEC articles is essential. Here's a breakdown of key differences and considerations to aid in navigating these regulations. Firstly, scope and application. The NEC primarily governs electrical installations within the United States, focusing on safety and standardization for residential, commercial, and industrial settings. IEC standards, on the other hand, hold international relevance, providing guidelines applicable across various countries and regions. These standards often cater to a broader spectrum of electrical systems and equipment. Secondly, terminology and definitions. Navigating both IEC and NEC requires familiarity with their respective terminologies. While some terms may seem interchangeable, subtle differences in definitions can significantly impact interpretation and application. For instance, terms related to grounding, bonding, and overcurrent protection may vary slightly, necessitating careful attention to context. Thirdly, wiring methods and materials. The NEC outlines specific requirements for wiring methods and materials, dictating acceptable practices for different applications. From conduit types to cable specifications, adherence to these guidelines is crucial for compliance within the U.S. IEC standards offer alternative approaches to wiring methods and materials, reflecting international practices and technological advancements. Understanding these alternatives is vital when working on projects that involve both IEC and NEC standards. Fourthly, protection devices. Overcurrent protection is a cornerstone of electrical safety, and both IEC and NEC address it comprehensively. However, differences exist in the selection, coordination, and application of overcurrent protection devices such as circuit breakers and fuses. The NEC provides detailed tables and calculations for determining appropriate device ratings, while IEC standards emphasize performance characteristics and testing methodologies. Fifthly, grounding and bonding. Grounding and bonding practices play a critical role in preventing electrical hazards and ensuring system integrity. The NEC dedicates Article 250 to grounding and bonding requirements, outlining specific methods and techniques for achieving effective grounding. IEC standards address earthing arrangements and protective bonding conductors, offering alternative approaches that comply with international safety standards. Sixthly, equipment listings and approvals. Compliance with safety standards often hinges on equipment listings and approvals from recognized testing laboratories. The NEC relies on organizations like Underwriters Laboratories, or UL, to certify equipment for use in the United States. IEC standards recognize certification bodies such as the International Electrotechnical Commission Conformity Assessment System, or IEC, to ensure compliance with international standards. Understanding these certification processes is essential for sourcing compliant equipment. Seventhly, arc flash hazard analysis. Arc flash hazards pose significant risks to personnel working on energized electrical equipment. The NEC mandates arc flash hazard analysis to assess potential risks and implement appropriate safety measures. IEC standards provide guidance on arc flash risk assessment and mitigation strategies, offering a comprehensive approach to electrical safety management. Eighthly, voltage levels and system configurations. Differences in voltage levels and system configurations can influence electrical design and installation practices. The NEC typically addresses voltage levels commonly used in the United States, such as 120 volts, 208 volts, 277 volts, and 480 volts. IEC standards accommodate a wider range of voltage levels and system configurations prevalent in different countries, requiring careful consideration of compatibility and safety. Ninthly, renewable energy systems. The integration of renewable energy systems such as solar, photovoltaic, and wind power requires adherence to specific electrical codes and standards. The NEC provides guidelines for the installation and interconnection of renewable energy systems, addressing safety and performance considerations. IEC standards offer comprehensive coverage of renewable energy technologies, providing detailed requirements for system design, testing, and certification. 10thly, healthcare facilities. Electrical systems in healthcare facilities demand stringent safety measures to protect patients and medical equipment. The NEC outlines specific requirements for healthcare facilities, including isolation power systems, grounding, and emergency power systems. IEC standards provide additional guidance on electrical safety in medical locations, ensuring compliance with international healthcare standards. In conclusion, navigating the complexities of IEC standards and NEC articles requires a thorough understanding of their respective scopes, terminologies, and requirements. Consulting with qualified electrical professionals and staying informed about updates to these standards are essential steps in ensuring electrical safety and compliance in any project.